This week, Youth Underground social media has been really focused on online sex trafficking and how websites sometimes can facilitate human sex trafficking. So, this Saturday, I want to take the time and talk about two important facts. Number one, last year, the US government passed two relevant acts. One of them was Fight Online Sex Trafficking Act and a related bill in the Senate, which was Stop Enabling Sex Traffickers Act. And what these two bills meant was that websites can be held accountable for the content that they put on their websites, which meant that owners of websites like Backpage.com or even Facebook could be held accountable if ads for human sex trafficking or human trafficking in general pop up on their websites. Sounds good in theory, right? Well, we don't know that yet. Recently, the Congress has been pushing to study this even further because we don't know if the number of advertisements that used to pop up on the websites have actually gone down after these two acts, or has human trafficking just been pushed further into the darkness, as is the case many times. So while this is still questionable, at the same time, there is the fact number two. And what's happening right now is that a lot of women are coming forward and they're talking about how they've been coerced into performing sex acts, which were filmed by people, of course, and they were put on websites like Girls Do Porn and even Pornhub. These women, in many cases, are minors, so there could be, as far as we know, over hundreds or even thousands of women who have been forced into sex acts that are now all over the internet. In fact, in one of the cases, 22 women won about 12 million in damages after they sued one of these websites. But the acts that were passed last year might be able to protect them in some sense, while at the same time these acts might be pushing other kinds of human trafficking into the darkness or onto the streets, where it's even more unregulated and people can be harmed even more. So when I read facts about either of these things, I'm really careful in analyzing and understanding what the long-term impact can be, which is why sometimes these videos might not be as punchy and to the point, because sometimes there's a lot of factors to assess and there's not a singular answer as to what can be good or bad. All I want you to understand is that online sex trafficking is very real, and even though there are efforts to curb it, sometimes those efforts might backfire.